Terrifying discovery at Oak Island no one should see. Embark on a gripping expedition to Oak Island, where a heart-stopping secret lies hidden, shielded from the world's eyes. In this emotionally charged journey, we'll unveil the terrifying discovery that should never be witnessed. Prepare to be awed and overwhelmed by the astonishing revelation that resonates deep within the human spirit. Get ready for a roller coaster of fear and wonder as we uncover Oak Island's dark enigma. In the 15th episode of the 5th season, Steel Trapped, Gary Drayton and the Lagina Brothers use their metal detecting skills on the land of former treasure hunter Fred Nolan, which is now taken care of by his son Tom Nolan. Drayton soon finds what looks like a handmade decoration plate for a keyhole. Drayton says it's rare that farmers or regular people would have used the artifact, so it seems likely that this key plate is part of a treasure chest. If this is true, it will be a very interesting find. With this floral design keyplate and the skeleton key Tom Nolan showed the team earlier in Season 5 on Episode 12, A Key to Mystery, and the treasure chest hinge found in Season 4, Episode 15, Blood is Thicker, it seems like the Oak Island team is getting closer to finding the buried treasure. In Season 5, Episode 10, The Signs of a Cross, Gary Drayton and Rick Lagina go metal detecting along the beach and find what looks like a holy artifact. Drayton thinks that the solid lead cross was made between 1200 and 1600. Lagina thinks it has something to do with the Knights Templar because the pattern looks like a carving he saw in a Templar prison in Dom, France in Season 5, Episode 8, called Dan's Breakthrough. Later in Season 5, Episode 12, A Key to the Mystery, Templar expert Jerry Glover looks at the cross and thinks it might be from the 13th century. He also says that it looks like Templar writing from around the same time. When the cross is looked into more in Season 5, Episode 13, Unhinged, and Season 5, Episode 15, Steel Trapped, the link to the Knights Templar becomes even clearer. In the first episode of Season 6 of The Curse of Oak Island, Rick's Big Bang Theory, Gary Drayton and Rick Lagina take a metal detector to a part of Oak Island that hasn't been looked at before. They want to see what secret treasures Oak Island has to offer. When Drayton and Lagina pull up a big rock, they find a big King George III face copper 2-pence coin under it. This type of coin was only made in 1797, and instead of silver, it was made out of copper. Because of this, the coin was much bigger than the other 2-pence pieces, so it became known as a cartwheel. With the discovery of this cartwheel and a large number of other 17th and 18th century coins, the Oak Island team seems to be on the verge of finding a large amount of buried wealth. In Season 5, Episode 16, Seeing Red, Rick Lagina and Gary Drayton go back to the place where they found the decorative lock in the last episode. Lagina and Drayton soon find something much more valuable. After finding a military button from the 17th century, like the one found in Season 2, Episode 2, Return to the Money Pit, the stakes get much higher when they find a brooch and what at first looks like a multicolored ruby. In the Season 5 episode, Amazing Discoveries, Drayton has a gemologist look at the jewelry and finds that it is a hand-cut rhodolite garnet set in silver from the 1500s or 1600s. Even though there had been many other finds before, this semi-precious gemstone was the most expensive thing the Lagina team had found up to that point. In The Curse of Oak Island, Season 6, Episode 18, Heavy Metal, a metal detector expert named Gary Drayton finds something that looks a lot like the lead cross that was found in Season 5, Episode 10, The Signs of a Cross. Drayton's new find is a piece of lead with a complicated pattern around the edge. Geochemist Tobias Skowronek looks at it and says it was probably a cloisonne decoration, which is an old way of creating jewelry with small metal strips. But Skowronek tells the team that the lead isotopes are the same as the ones in the lead cross, which is even a bigger surprise. This means that both things were probably made from the same lead deposit from before the 15th century. This amazing find could mean that the Knights Templar went to Oak Island more often than was thought before. In Depth Perception, the third episode of the 6th season of The Curse of Oak Island, geophysicist Mike West joins Gary Drayton and Jack Begley. West uses a metal detector that goes deeper than Drayton's small metal detector. After finding a spike from the 17th century and a metal hook, they find their biggest find, a long bolt with an arrow-shaped tip. Drayton thinks it's a crossbow shot from the 1600s. In the next episode, A Legacy Revealed, antiques expert Gabrielle Vandervoort looks at the object and realizes that it might not be a crossbow bolt at all, but rather the top part of a pillion, a type of javelin weapon used by the Romans from about the 1st century BC to the 5th century AD. If this is true, it would be the oldest prize found on Oak Island by more than 1,000 years. In Homecoming, the 5th episode of the 6th season of The Curse of Oak Island, Gary Drayton, Jack Begley, and Alex Lagina go back to where they found the gold-plated brooch in the season 6 premiere, Rick's Big Bang Theory, to see if they can find more of Oak Island's hidden treasures. Using their metal detector, Drayton, Begley, and Lagina soon find a small piece of metal that Drayton thinks might be part of a military cap badge. This seems to be true when they find a piece close that fits perfectly with the first one. The design on the cap badge looks like it would be on a French grenadier's hat in the 1700s. This cap badge is another interesting find that could show that people from Spain, Britain, and now France all went to Oak Island in the 17th century. In The Curse of Oak Island, Season 8, Episode 14, called Fire in the Hole, archaeologist Miriam Amiralt and Dr. Aaron Taylor dig up a beautiful handmade object while trying to find out where a recently found stone path might lead to Oak Island's famous treasure. Amiralt and Taylor find hand-painted bits of pottery that are bright red, blue, and green. These beautiful pieces are more examples of things made by people that have been buried on Oak Island. Along the stone path, the team is trying to explore these and other pieces of pottery and other items that have been found. Do these pieces mean that they are getting closer to more treasure, or will the archaeologists leave the spot without finding anything? Their team is still digging around the site, hoping to find more of the stone path and more of Oak Island's secrets. In Season 9, Episode 2, The Gold Medal, the Oak Island team looks for gold in the money pit area where digging holes were dug. They find a piece of metal that might be what they've been looking for since before the show started in 2014. After the team takes the piece of metal to an archaeology lab so Dr. Ian Spooner and Laird Niven can study it, it turns out that the metal is made up of many different things. The most interesting result is that about 0.07% of the metal registers as AU, which is more generally known as gold. Later in Season 9, Episode 4, Spoils Alert, another metal is found just 13.5 feet northeast of where the gold was found 2 weeks ago. Once the new metal source has been x-rayed and studied, it turns out that it is made up of 0.2% gold, which is even more gold than the last find. In Lords of the Ring, the 19th episode of the 7th season of The Curse of Oak Island, Gary Drayton and Rick Lagina keep looking for buried secrets in the swamp. They're surprised to find a metal ring with a beautiful flower pattern. The Oak Island team takes the beautifully designed metal ring to gemologist Charles Luton Brain to have it looked at. Luton Brain can figure out the beautiful item is probably a Spanish silver ring. He can even tell that the silver ring was made before 1730 based on the different ways it was fixed to make it both smaller and bigger at different times. The Spanish Maravetti coin that was found in the find, the last episode of Season 1, makes the Lagina Brothers and their team wonder if they will soon find more Spanish wealth on Oak Island. That's all for the video. We'll be right back with more such videos, so don't forget to give this one a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.